Big Last Show is, today's show is sort of like a landing you can walk away from.
We got a Super Cub.
And I'm glad we have a script because we're not following any of it. So I asked Charlie, I said, now, do you have your script, Charlie? He goes, oh, yeah. And he goes running over, and he grabbed mine as well. So,
did I?
But that's okay, Charlie.
Do I have your... Uh-oh.
This is the way you find people who want to take you over.
I'll bring it into you.
Yeah, right. I'm not sure this is a safe thing for us.
Sorry about that.
So you're looking at the behind the scenes, the making
this is
of the Big Last Show. Oh, cabin boy. Thank you.
Cool, there we go. Now we're back on track.
Oh, wait, no, that's the wrong script.
Okay.
The wrong one?
Yeah, but that's okay. I've already got this one. It was the notes from Gordon that you printed out, and so I think you've got his script, and I think you've got both of ours, Charlie.
Oh. I have...
Oh, wait, that's what he needs.
Okay, yeah, go for it. Okay.
So we're going to have Gordon Snyder come on, Dr. Gordon Snyder. And you and I were talking about beluga whales.
Yeah, I have seen orca. Like, I saw a bunch of orcas last year, which were actually really, really cool to see out in Kenai fjords. Like, just the way that the pods, the way they merged together, and they had little babies, and the little baby was learning how to jump, and it was really, really cool. And whales, to me, are just really fascinating. Gordon calls them the wolves of the sea, and you'll find out more about why he does that. Gordon sent us a little audio bit.
I do have that.
Gordon is going to describe to us what we're hearing here.
Okay, I got Gordon on the line.
So why don't we give a warm Big Alaska Show welcome to Dr. Gordon Snyder.
Can you hear everything, Gordon?
I don't know. I'm watching on live Facebook, so I guess I can hear you. Can you hear me?
So you can see me, Gordon?
No, actually, I'm seeing the Beluga Whales meeting, that little video clip I sent you. So we're synced in right now. But that audio bed that you had was from Beluga Whales. And the nice thing about them is that they have an incredible range of vocalizations and whale songs. And if you listen to that full minute of that whale thing, you'll hear a lot of clicks and a lot of pops and a lot of various sounds that are unlike most sounds you hear anywhere on the planet. So it's one of those things that as scientists, people are trying to figure out what do those sounds mean, but from our perspective, it's just a mystery. Hi, Steve. I see you waving at me.
So there were a couple parties in the 80s that I had a lot of sounds just like that.
Yeah. I think I was making most of them.
It's interesting that you said you saw me wave to you because that tells me the delay that you're getting compared to our broadcast. So we're about, 45 seconds ahead of you.
Well, like you and I talked, we're at the edge of technology here, and we're all a bunch of doofuses trying to figure out where the edge is. So we'll make a few razor blade cuts, and we'll get it right.
You are the creator of Whales Without Borders. The website is whaleswithoutborders.info. And over the last couple of years, we've been covering whales with you and talking about different kinds of whales. And whales are happening here in Alaska right now. Tourists are going out and watching them. And in the past, Gordon, we've talked about the humpbacks, and we talked about the gray whales and the orcas. You heard Charlie maybe mentioning the orcas. I always thought they were really cool, too, till I found out what vicious animals those little critters are.
They're predators of the sea, and they're the ones that are big enough to actually take on some of the smaller whales or the calves of the big whales. So one of the major predators for beluga whales are just the orcas and how they attack. They do it in these pods, so, beluga whales aren't very big, so they're a perfect size for orcas to go after.
We've gone out to Beluga Point. There's different groups in Alaska that you find.
Well, they call them stocks, and that's a fish and game term, but they're found in about 5 areas: Cook Inlet, Crystal Bay, the Eastern Bering Sea, and the Eastern Chukchi Sea. I don't even know where that is.
Chukchi.
Chukchi Sea. I don't even know how to say it, let alone where it is. It's kind of like I don't know where North Korea is.
It's in the Chukchi Sea and the Beaufort.
The Beaufort Sea, right. So there are these groups that are sort of community or stocks, they call them.
How many whales are there? What's the count on that approximately, would you say?
They really don't know exactly. These are all just estimates from observations because these whales are really hard to study. There are not very many of them around. The ones that you see the most are the ones that Cook Inlet because they're right along the coastline. everybody can stop there at Beluga Point and look for them. There's one of the videos that shows some of the belugas feeding off of that point. But at any rate, they say there's about 350 whales in the Cook Inlet, and that's sort of the number that they've been settled around. I think that it's probably, who knows, maybe half of what it used to be, or a third, or we just don't know. But they're obviously less because of all the pressure on fishing and on their habitat.
One of the things we've learned from you is how at one point the whales were an endangered species, and now they're very plentiful, but it sounds like the beluga whales are more at risk.
Well, when they talk about these endangered species, they really break it down to each species. So the humpback whales we've talked about have made a marvelous recovery. And the beluga whales, we don't know enough about what their original populations were. We do know that they're around and they're stable. But, some of the other species like the right whale, which is in the East Coast area, they are very, very endangered. In fact, they're regulating shipping so that they don't have these big vessels running into them so that they can try and protect that population.
How big are these things approximately, Gordon? They're bigger than I thought.
Now, compared to an orca, though, where do they fit in?
Well, they're probably about a third the size of an orca, some of the big orcas. So these will come in around 3,000 pounds, and an orca can easily be about twice that. But these are about 13 feet, and an orca might be 20, 25 feet. And, of course, an orca, they attack in groups. So these guys, if they got singled away from their family unit, they'd be vulnerable.
Now, you sent a really cool picture of a beluga whale with its mouth open, and, man, that sucker's got teeth.
Right. That's a really cool picture, and like I say, there's not many like that. Obviously, I didn't take that picture, but somebody that had a good close-up view of that one, I hope he ducked in a hurry.
I was going to say, it looks like the last picture he ever took.
Yeah, it might well have been. If he was a fish, he was a goner.
Yeah.
There are two kinds of whales. There are the toothed whale, and then there are the filter-feeding whales that use the filtering process to eat. These are part of the toothed whales, and the reason I put that picture in there is so that it would drastically demonstrate what a toothed whale looks like. So if they clomp onto, a salmon or a cod, a fish, they eat just about anything that moves in the ocean. They've usually got a pretty good hold on it.
Now, as a scientist, what are something about belugas that you find interesting?
Well, I think the amazing thing to me is they're white. When they're young, they're gray, but they turn white as they get mature, and they're the only white whale in the world. So that's the number one sort of thing.
Because the orcas scare them.
I know it's going to stress.
That would be something that would be definitely in the way is they're cruising under the ice. If they had a 6-foot dorsal fin sticking up, it would be banging in the ice all the time. So these guys have evolved into streamlined body that works well underneath the ice in the Arctic or the subarctic environments that are up there. The
mating season for these, late winter, early spring.
That's right.
All the big ones go to Hawaii. Where these go?
No. These whales, beluga whales, are resident. They don't migrate to Hawaii like the humpbacks that you're thinking. These guys stick around. They might have a 500 or 600 mile range as they go up and down the coast, or in and out one of these major inlets. But they don't leave. They stay all winter long. So they're resident. That's a total different kind of a situation than the ones like the humpbacks that migrate from Alaska down to Mexico or down to Hawaii.
Well, that's a bummer deal. They don't get the tropical experience.
Right, but they're white. They get really sunburned.
Which they're the closest to the typical color of an Alaskan. When we go to Hawaii, that's exactly, we're easily mistaken for belugas.
This next video that I've got shown up there, I think Charlie's got it now, you can see the belugas jumping up and down as they feed. To me, there just must be a school of fish there because these guys are acting like they're feeding. And what you notice is they do not feed at all like the bubble ring that we talked about. These guys are just coming up and gulping and jumping down into the water. So they're trying to grab fish and herd them together so that they can grab these frightened fish. but totally different than the bubble ring feeding, which the filter feeders do. I find this one video is pretty interesting because it's the kind of views that you're going to see. They don't do the aerial displays that the humpbacks do, and they're obviously not as big as the blue or the gray whales, so you don't see them, the size of a major ship floating along. So their little habits are interesting, and like I say, we don't know much, but over the next 20 years, we're going to learn a lot from the new technologies of recording sound and with the drone types of videos that we can get.
What's the website for people to go to that they can look at? And you got Facebook and all that good stuff.
The current stuff that we're working on now is on Facebook, facebook.com, Whales Without Borders. And what we're doing is we're reworking the whaleswithoutborders.info website so that we can bring in our news items, and we're trying to figure out how to incorporate more of the podcasts, like podcasts on the news, and then podcasts that we'll do with the Alaska show. Big Alaska show.
Yes.
So that we can we can advertise and cross pollinate some of the stuff that you guys are doing and get the word out about whales and how interesting they are and the success that they are.
Gordon, thanks for joining us here in the Big Alaska Show. Again, it's whaleswithoutborders.info, and there people can go to your Facebook there, correct?
Just go to Facebook and type in Whales Without Borders, and then that'll get the current stuff that we're working on.
Well, let's give Dr. Gordon Snyder a warm Big Alaska Show thank you, and thanks for saving our bacon, pal.
Hey, I'm glad this worked out. I'm kind of excited to see that the videos and the audio and the live all work together.
I'm glad you're saying that. You should have been with us a little earlier.
That's
man.
right.
We were going down fast.
Bunch of fumblebones.
Yeah.
So that was a recorded podcast a little earlier, this few weeks ago. But when we come back, we got Gordon Snyder with me. I'm in his studio here in Seattle, and he's got an update on belugas. And of course, we got a tall Alaska tale here at the Big Alaska Show at AM 750 KFUD 103.7 FM. We're streamed at KFUD.com, and you can catch us at Facebook.com/Big Alaska Show. Watch us live.
PFD savings on windows, doors, and glass at Neighbors Windows and Doors. If you're not ready for new windows but have broken or old fogged glass and windows or doors, this is the time to replace or upgrade them cost-effectively. Buy glass for 4 windows with installation, get the 5th of equal or lesser value free. Neighbors Windows and Doors offers all types of glass, single pane, double pane, triple pane, tempered or laminated safety glass, any shape or size. And the insulated glass is the highest performance and most technologically advanced with the longest warranty in the industry. Neighbors Windows and Doors also has the most experienced window and door installation team in Alaska, period. They work year-round, even installation in the winter is no problem. Get PFD savings on windows, doors, and glass at Neighbors Windows and Doors. Be sure to ask about the 12 months 0% financing. Neighbors Windows and Doors, 6251 Tuttle, or visit neighborswindowsanddoors.com.
Credit Union One can help you afford a new car, truck, or Alaskan toy in time for winter. Whether it's a larger all-wheel drive SUV, a new adventure-ready snow machine, or ATV, Credit Union One is here to help. We'll clear your payment schedule for 90 days on a new vehicle or toy so you can make the most of cooler weather in a safe and affordable way. Apply online at cu1.org. This credit union is federally insured by the National Credit Union Administration. No payments for 90 days on approved credit. Terms and conditions apply. See a CU1 representative for details. It's time to kickstart your career at Credit Union One. Currently, we're in need of energetic, organized, and motivated individuals to join the CU1 team as tellers, including part-time positions. Credit Union One offers competitive pay and excellent benefits, including child care assistance, health and life insurance, a 401k with profit sharing, and more. Plus, we love to promote from within. Visit cu1.org to apply. Credit Union One, making Alaska better for all.
Hi, this is Mike Ferris, president of Alaska Enterprise Solutions. Your Xerox sales agent for Alaska. When people ask what I do, I say we provide high-speed computers that spit out paper fast. Obviously, that's oversimplified, but you get the picture. From small desktop copiers to large commercial machines, Xerox is a leader. Let us provide ideas to help improve your bottom-line results. Locally owned with worldwide support, we are Alaska Enterprise Solutions. Visit aesalaska.com or call us 561-5100.
And welcome back to the Big Alaska Show. I'm Mike Ford, along with Uncle Steve. Our show brought to you in part by Neighbors Windows and Doors. They're Alaska's window experts. From purchase to window installation, visit Alaska's best Neighbors Windows and Doors at 6251 Tunnel or online anytime at neighborswindowsanddoors.com.
Thanks for joining us. This is Uncle Steve. I'm on the road. I'm here at the laboratory/studio with Dr. Gordon Snyder, who has Whales Without Borders. And as you know, in the news, we've been having things on belugas. And so, Dr. Gordon Snyder, give us a little bit of update, because I know you have a little bit of information on some latest developments on belugas. And, of course, they've been in the news here in Anchorage or in Alaska with the Seward Sea Life Center, where they found a little baby cat.
Can you guys catch me now? Am I on?
We hear you now, Gordon.
Okay. One of the things I wanted to pick up on is you mentioned earlier, Mike, that this baby calf beluga that they found is now about 100 days old. Okay?
Correct.
So just to give you some sort of sciencey things, normally it takes about 12 to so months for most mammals to gestate. These belugas are usually 14 to 15 months. I think it probably has something to do with how cold the temperature is that they live in at a slower rate. And the mothers give babies or have birth about once every 2 to 3 years. They rarely ever have twins. Okay? So that's kind of an interesting thing. What I was trying to get up to is I wonder how big this 100-day-old calf is. These babies will nurse for a year, and then they start foraging and learning how to chase down fish on their own. But they're really dependent on the mother for about 2 years. So if this guy's been around for 100 days, they've got at least another, 3/4 of a year of pretending to be the mother nursing this baby. And as you all know, whales are mammals, so the mothers nurse the young in the water. So it's very dependent on the mother to get through those first year, yet alone to make it out to where they forage on their own.
And now, how much time do we have left? We have to go to one of our favorite things, Mike.
Oh, probably another minute or so we could chit-chat about the belugas.
Okay, one of the things that I recall reading somewhere, which would be interesting to see if this works out, is that there is some evidence that these females that are raising their young, they form a pod and they kick all the men out, tell them to go to the bar kind of thing.
My kind of woman.
So, but there is evidence that a female beluga that is not caring for a calf now will adopt a youngling and take it forward. And so my guess is that the Sea World or the Sea Life people are trying to get this baby strong enough to the point where it can be adopted, and that would be a really interesting excursion if that works.
Uh-huh.
And the risk would be that they, because sometimes they reject those things.
Right, and then you got to try and find this animal out in the wild once you've released it. So that's the crossover: is that can something that's been born in captivity or raised in captivity, then when you release it, how can it transition into the wild? Because it hasn't developed all those wild instincts from, the association with the other whales.
Right.
And for more information, we'll be able to start going to whaleswithoutborders.info, and you'll find the Facebook page there as well. And we'll start posting this stuff. There's a great video that Gordon's got that's just superb that he's going to post on. And we'll post on BigAlaskaShow.com.
All right.
One other thing that's coming up, you guys, and then we'll let you go, is that National Geographic Wild, National Geo Wild channel, they have things on, they have a program coming up on November 3rd, which I thought was totally appropriate for this time period, what we're talking about, called The Call of the Baby Beluga. And so they're focusing really on some of the stuff that if you are interested in what happens to these babies, then this has got some really cool stuff in it. So
Okay.
I'll send you guys the link to this. and you can post it up. In fact, I think we sent Charlie one of the pictures, and it shows the promo where there's like 21 whales, beluga whales, swimming in the inlet of this river. And normally when you are out whale watching, there's hundreds or thousands of people in boats around. If you count the people that are watching belugas in Alaska, I see 5, plus a crane that's fishing in that little river inlet also.
So do we have any time for our most favorite thing, Mike?
We don't.
Okay.
But that's okay.
All right. Okay. So, yeah, we're fine. We'll have our tall Alaska Tale next week. In fact, next week we have our Sudsy Slim Rides Again special edition that we're going to be putting up. That'll be very interesting. I think you'll find, and we'll post we'll do our tall Alaska Tale next
and
week.
that also has two of our 3 fans on it.
And that's
Steve and Mary.
Mary, who know went to the University of Idaho and Boise State, and that includes and they're going to be providing our tall Alaska Tale, which is actually very interesting. The connection between the two.
Right. I think we'll have to have Gordon listen in and see if he can actually get that one right. I don't think he'll be able to.
And even if he does,
we usually win our own prizes, so sorry, Gordon.
Well, that's all right. I remember when I was up there in the studio, I gave you guys the prizes. So
that's right.
Probably the best way.
He's the only one in the 11 and 12 years we've been doing this that has given us anything besides grief.
I think we still have a David Jensen book we need to give away, too.
Oh, that's right. And we're going to be posting that to David Jensen's books on for helping raise money for Extra Fest, Extra Life. And we'll do that on BigAlaskaShow.com. We'll post that stuff up. Hey, it's been a lot of fun, Mike and Charlie. And
what is Gordon's website one more time for folks?
Well, on Facebook, it's just facebook.com, /Whales Without Borders. And then the website that we're working on is whaleswithoutborders.info. And either one of those will get you there. So I'll put up some of the links on Facebook from what we just did today, and then people can come check that out. But at this point in time, everybody's interested in whales again because they're leaving Alaska and headed to the warm climates of Hawaii and Mexico. So this is a transition time for the ones that are going to be leaving. And the belugas, like we talked today, they are staying behind, as will the orcas that we'll talk about at some point.
All right. You guys have your lab coats on and your beakers, and you're going to do some experiments, right?
Absolutely. Yes. Cheers. Anyway, thanks a lot for joining us. Baby girl, love you. Can't wait to see you. And Mike Ford, and Charlie Sears, all the best, buddy. And Mike
have a safe trip.
Why don't you take us out as you so eloquently do, Mike Ford?
All right, we'll do it. Thank you, Gordon. Thank you, Uncle Steve. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you for listening, and we want to thank our sponsors, Neighbors Windows and Doors, Alaska's window experts from purchase to window installation. Visit Alaska's Best Neighbors Windows and Doors at 6251 Tunnel or online anytime at neighborswindowsanddoors.com. We also want to thank AES, Alaska Enterprise Solution, the authorized sales agent for Alaska. Call Mike Ferris or visit AESalaska.com. Remember, if it's Big Alaska Guests, Big Alaska Adventures, and no good lying through your 2 tall Alaska tales, it's got to be the Big Alaska Show. Have a great week, everybody.
The Big Alaska Show is paid for by, and all content is